Are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me right? Why? That's okay. Hello and welcome back to Chaotic and Witchy. Thank you so much for coming back if you're a returning viewer, and thank you if you're joining me here for the first time. Welcome to my channel. And as always, thank you to everybody who has liked, commented, or subscribed or supported this channel in any way. I sincerely appreciate it. Today we're going to be having a look at what's coming your way in the month of October. So meditate on a pile, make your selection, and just as a reminder, if you have any ideas for future pick-a-cards that you would like to see on this channel, do not hesitate to let me know in the comments below. Let's get right into it. Hello and welcome to your reading pile 1. Thank you so much for joining me. So let's have a look at what is up ahead for you in October. So pile 1, I am immediately getting a very strong sense that for the past few months, weeks, days, however long it may be, you've been dealing with a lot of chaos, a lot of conflict and tension. There's just something in your life that has been causing you a lot of immeasurable unhappiness. You're feeling weighed down, you're bogged down, and you're losing pieces of yourself. You have the chaos and conflict card right here, and as you can see, this animal has pieces of it breaking off and flaking off. It is set in an arid desert. It just feels like things are very, very difficult and barren for you right now. You are really struggling. Now, this could be at work, this could be with a friend. This could also be a romantic relationship that has become a little bit stale, stagnant. Maybe it is full of fighting and arguing instead of seeing eye to eye. But there's definitely an element of your life that has caused you a lot of tension and difficulty. And one of the things that you need to know is that you are going to be experiencing healing in this upcoming month of October. This card says it's time for healing and not war. So this reaffirms to me that you've been having a lot of difficulties with something internal or external. You could be at war with yourself, you could be at war with other people, or it could be a mixture of both. People, when they hurt you, that a lot of people internalize that as well, and it gets very difficult for us to focus on anything other than that hurt, other than the things that are making us unhappy, making things heavier than they should be. So one of the things that you should know is in this upcoming month, you're going to be doing a lot more healing, and you're going to have moments of meditation and retreat so that you can recover your senses, bring yourself up. And there's also a lot of incredible transformation on the horizon as well. And I feel like the other thing that you've been asking yourself in dealing with a lot of this pain and difficulty is why. You have why as one of the cards appearing for you today. And I feel like you've been asking yourself, why is this happening? Why is this happening to me? Why can't I figure things out? Why can't I make things work with this person? Why can't I bring peace into my life? And it's really a question that's been at the top of your mind. And I do think you're going to likely, I don't know if you're going to find any answers to this question. Sometimes people treat us poorly because that's just who they are. That is their character, not a reflection of you. But I'm also finding that you're going to find it easier to live with this question. It's going to more so travel to the back of your mind, because there's so much beautiful movement and transformation in these cards that this is no longer going to be something you're fixated on. But of course, you will find that sometimes you want answers and they aren't clearly given. But again, I reiterate that that is likely just because there are some things that people do or things that happen and they just don't have answers, aside from the fact that sometimes people are cruel, unkind, chaotic, and there's not much you can do about that. But one of the things you do need to know, pile 1, is that whatever has been causing you pain, whatever has been causing you trouble and difficulty and tribulation, and been causing you heaviness and a feeling of burden is going to become lifted. You're going to travel to better, less tumultuous waters. You have this beautiful Six of Swords card, and I love seeing the Six of Swords card because it's all about moving away from tumultuous waters towards something more beautiful, peaceful, calm, especially when one of the cards you have is time for healing and not war. So if there is something that has been causing you pain, such as a job or people or a romantic connection that's just really not making you happy, that is making you feel let down and is making you feel deflated and defeated, you're going to be moving away from that. You're going to find the stamina and the courage to move away. And the other thing is that I'm seeing that for some of you, you will not be alone. You're likely going to be supported by a loved one or by a friend or a counselor in moving away from the thing that is causing you pain, that is causing you grief. You're going to find a way to finally move away from it towards something better. And you also have the Two of Cups here. So if some of you are moving away from another connection, you're going to be moving towards your perfect companion. So if this is a romantic connection that you're moving away from, this card is all about finding somebody who's a perfect companion, even though it's not necessarily a twin flame. It could be somebody who is a soulmate or just a perfect fit for you. And if this is a work relationship, or rather a workplace situation, not necessarily romantic, so such as your job, you're going to find a job or a career that is going to be more of a perfect fit. It's going to just be perfectly suitable and compatible for you. So if you're moving away from a romantic connection that is no longer serving you, be prepared to find somebody who is going to give you the things that you deserve and desire in a manner that is going to be give and take equal. That's the other thing about the Two of Cups. It's about equality. So if you're moving away from a job that doesn't serve you anymore, that isn't making you happy, you're going to find a path that is going to do that for you, and it's going to fit you better. So with the Six of Swords followed by the Two of Cups, know that you're moving away from tumultuous waters to something that is going to be so much better for you, pile one. And the other thing is that you have the Knight of Coins, which makes me think that for some of you, your concerns and difficulties are financial in a sense, but that's not the only Knight in this reading, and I'll get to the Knight of Swords a bit later. But for the Knight of Coins, you should know that this represents somebody who is determined, stubborn. They are hardworking and persistent. They're bullheaded in a sense because he's on top of the bull, but in a positive way, in a way that you want to be when you're chasing the things that will bring you happiness, the things that will bring you success and abundance. You should be bullheaded and stubborn. You shouldn't let anybody talk you down from it or tell you that it's not for you. If you feel it in your heart that something is for you, then pursue it with fearlessness, because that is the only way you can get the things that you want, is if you're fearless in their pursuits and you don't let setbacks bring you down. And I'm sensing that the new energy that you're going to be experiencing in October is this bullheaded, strong, powerful, forceful energy and a confidence. And the other thing about this card is that this is a warrior spirit. This is somebody who is not afraid of the enemy. They're not afraid of an adversary because they are very, very resilient. They are very confident. They are sharp. They're dedicated. They are hardworking. And this could represent you as well. And I mean, it certainly represents you, but I think this is also representing something that you're going to represent for someone else. So if you're looking for another job, somebody's going to see these qualities within you and appreciate them, especially since this is Pentacle energy, which is material energy. So I do think that if some of you are looking for a job or a new career opportunity, or you're waiting for something to take off financially, you're going to be spotted by somebody who's really going to appreciate these qualities in you as well. But overall, and quite certainly, you're going to start exhibiting these characteristics. They're going to come to the forefront, even though I feel like they've been stifled for some time for some of you. And the other thing is you have this incredible Santa Muerte card, and I love it. It's very unique. It is unique to this tarot deck, rather, and what it represents is an incredible transformation, a powerful transformation, a revolution, new projects, new changes, and sometimes these can be very painful and chaotic changes, because change isn't always pleasant. It could be difficult. It could take a lot of hard work and effort. It can be uncertain, but this is a change that's going to happen whether you like it or not, because it's more so destiny than it is something that you can control. And I love seeing the Santa Muerte card, because it makes me think of also the fact that you have your spirit guides or your ancestors watching over you, because I see her standing here over a crib. So it makes me think that this is somebody who is very much related to you, perhaps a recent relative, and they are watching over you, and they're going to be with you during this transformation, during this change. So whatever it is that's going to be occurring in the month of October, know that you have support. You are supported both in the physical plane, so you likely will have friends, relatives, or someone who comes along and helps you through those challenges as well. But you're also supported spiritually by your ancestors, by your deceased relatives who are still watching over you. So I love this card and I love seeing it. And the other thing, pile one, is I feel like your current situation doesn't let you speak. It doesn't enable you to use your voice. So wherever you've been recently, I don't feel like you felt like your voice is appreciated or heard. So if you're in a romantic connection and you feel like nobody, the person that you're with, isn't listening to you, or isn't really showing you the level of care that you deserve, whatever you're moving towards, whoever you're moving towards, is going to have these qualities, is going to let you speak. You're going to have a much louder voice. What you have to say is going to mean a lot to them, and they're going to be very careful to lean in and listen to every detail and care about what you say. And if this is a workplace where you're not feeling like you're important and you're not feeling like you're being heard, that is going to also change for you in October. So if you're feeling like you're being stifled, then that is going to become a little bit lifted. It's going to be a little bit easier for you to get your voice across, because now you're going to be moving towards people in a scenario where your voice matters. It is valued and it's important. So, and overall, the Knight of Swords, again, with the Knight of Pentacles and the Knight of Swords, you are going to have a lot of determination, a lot of ambition. You're going to have the ability to think quickly. And the other thing about the Knights is that they stop at nothing to get what they want. They have this very, very powerful forcefulness, this resilience, and this energy that propels them forward to their goals. So with the Knight of Pentacles and the Knight of Swords, I do think that you're going to both have financial success and more resilience for your financial goals, but also the goals that are important in terms of your voice, speaking, communication, being heard, being listened to, being valued. All of these things are going to feel a little bit easier and a lot more fluid in the upcoming months. And again, this is just confirmed with the Eight of Wands. And the Eight of Wands is another very fast-paced movement, charging ahead kind of card. And I love seeing the Eight of Wands. It's all about fast-paced change, fast action, moving forward, and just really barreling through any obstacle that is in your way. As you can see, it's really beautifully depicted on this card. There's all of these vibrant colors, and there's a lot of red here as well, which makes me think that for some of you, you have a romantic connection on the way as well. But red is also the color of passion. So if you're passionate about something, whether it's your career ambitions, whether it's your hobbies or your creative goals, you will start to see movement, and it's going to start to pick up for you. If there's a bit of stagnation you've been experiencing, again, there's a lot of movement and energy in this reading. So it's very, very exciting. And lastly, to tie all of this together, moving away from the conflict, moving away from the chaos, the fighting, arguing, or just feeling stuck in a space that really takes you apart, that takes pieces of you but doesn't reward you in any way, doesn't appreciate you, you're going to experience a burst of magic. And I feel like this is also tied in with the Santa Muerte card, where I feel like you're getting a lot of support from your relatives, from your spirit guides, from those who are watching over you. You're going to experience a burst of magic. And again, you have such incredible words here. You have burst, you have pace, movement, just lots of energy that is coming your way in October. So I do feel like if you've been feeling like things have been very stale, stagnant, very much of the same energy. You're going to feel a revival, revitalization, a lot more energy, and there's quite a lot of beautiful things for you on the horizon as well. So if there is something that you need to leave and you're afraid to, but you know that it's the right choice, be assured that there are greater things coming your way. This is not the end of the road. There is so much more to unfold, kind of like this flowers and its petals that are unfolding, and out of it is this silhouette. So I do think that there's a lot of beautiful things coming your way, pile one. Thank you so much for joining me. I really hope your month is beautiful and fantastic. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you wish, and I hope to see you again very soon. Hello and welcome to your reading, pile 2. Thank you so much for joining me here today. So, pile 2, first and foremost, I feel like in the month of October, you are going to have to bring something to completion. You are going to need to seek much needed closure. There is something that's outstanding in your life, something that hasn't been finalized, something that's lingering. Perhaps if you have been through a separation with somebody recently, or you have begun a project that you haven't started, or you're having a difficulty bringing something to completion, something needs to be completed for you, pile 2. You have the Unfinished Symphony card here, and this card is all about making sure nothing is left unfinished, because as long as it is unfinished, it is going to be something that you're going to fixate and ruminate on, and you may never see that closure. And I believe in October, one of the things that you need to do is seek closure in an area of your life that is still outstanding, that is still bothering you, that is still on your mind, so that you can move forward, because it does seem like that is a roadblock and a barrier to you right now, pile 2. The other thing, pile 2, is I get a very strong sense that there has been a lot of negativity. You've been really going through a repeated pattern of thinking. There's something that's seemingly bringing you down, something that doesn't seem to have an end. Lots of repeated negative thoughts, lots of repeated negative self-thinking with this never-ending story card. And this card is all about ruminating on negative thoughts and really creating your negative reality. So I believe over the past few months, weeks, or days, you have been really struggling with dealing with intrusive, negative, and anxiety-inducing thoughts. There have been a lot of difficulties that are either external, but also are being multiplied just by the way that you think about them, the way that you work through them every day in your mind. And the thing is that, unfortunately, as somebody who also suffers from anxiety, the thing about anxiety is that no matter how much you think about something, the outcome is still going to be the same at the end of the day. And sometimes the more you think about something, the more you amplify that negativity in your mind as well. So I do believe that some of you have been struggling with negative self-talk, negative thoughts and feelings that have been really causing you a lot of pain. And you have to be careful to not manifest the negative outcome just by ruminating over it. You have to be very careful. And the other thing about this card is it's just a reminder that the things that we worry about usually are all in our head. They're not real, they're not substantive, and the more that we focus on them, the more real they become. We kind of create our own nightmares in that sense. But the other thing that you need to know, pile 2, is that coming up for you in October, you're going through a very impressive spiritual awakening. You have the Hierophant and the High Priestess here, and the Hierophant represents a very traditional way of doing things, a very communal and ritualistic way, usually very conservative, very traditional. So it may be that you're somebody who is part of a very traditional faith-based practice, or grew up in a part of a very traditional faith-based practice, but with the High Priestess also present in your reading, I feel like you're going through a very powerful, intuitive, and spiritual awakening with this gorgeous High Priestess card here. Really what's coming through for me is, I believe in the month of October, you should expect a peak in your intuition, a peak in your sensory abilities, clairvoyance, claircognizance, having more dreams, having messages come to you through dreams, having a very, very strong intuitive just an amplified intuition. So if you feel a certain way, there's a feeling you have, a gut feeling, something feels wrong, or something feels like you have to pursue it, something is encouraging you to go somewhere or see something or do something, you have to be careful to listen to your gut, and especially if it's a negative. So if you're feeling off about a situation, be very, very receptive to that, because if you don't believe in intuition and higher power, and I mean, I don't know why you would be watching a tarot video, but if you don't believe in it, at the very least, our intuition and our subconscious picks up on things that we may not be aware of. Just our brain, our reptilian, very ancient brain really picks up on things that we may not even perceive actively. So if you have a very bad gut feeling, do not ignore it. It could just be a very, very well established defense mechanism that you've developed over the years. So I always want to emphasize that if something feels wrong in a situation, do not ignore that feeling just to be polite. That's very important to keep in mind as well. You don't need to be polite. And if there's something that feels off about a situation or a person, you have absolutely all of the right to walk away and leave that situation. So that's just a message that I felt like you needed to hear. But overall, your intuition, your senses, your perception is going to be very, very heightened. And I think that you're on a very powerful spiritual journey. And I also feel like this is a journey that maybe people judge. You may have a path to spirituality that is not welcome or embraced in your family, in your community, by the people that you surround yourself with, because you do have this think before you judge card here. But also on this card is a very beautiful group of friends. So I think that even if there are people in your life who are judgmental of the path that you're on, the spirituality that you're seeking, the knowledge you're developing, the skills you're crafting, there's also people around you that are going to support you and uplift you, kind of like in this image. I mean, I know that this is light as a feather, stiff as a board, but it's still really cool to see you know, people who support each other in their spiritual journeys and don't laugh it off, don't judge, don't criticize, and don't really stick to that hierophant, conservative, traditional way of thinking. So be free to explore your spirituality, and also know that you're very likely to be very supported by people around you. Or if you don't yet have this supportive community, just know that you soon will have a very supportive community of people around you who think in a similar way, or at the very least are open to it and will join you on all of your fun spiritual adventures. So that is what I'm seeing for you as well. And like I already mentioned, you have the Oracle's Gift card here. And that again just reaffirms to me that you're going to have a very strong influx in your spiritual abilities, in your spiritual gifts. I do get a very strong sense that you're very, like I said, you're going to be much more intuitive. Your subconscious is going to be highly activated. You're going to pick up on things. You're going to get messages. You're going to be much more receptive. And I feel like you're going to very much sharpen that element of yourself. You're going to lean into it a little bit more, because I feel like sometimes when we explain things away, we may be blocking out all of those messages, all of those intuitions, all of the things that come from elsewhere, internally, externally, whatever it is that you believe. But I feel like you're going to be much more open to it, and those things will flow easier to you. So do expect more messages, expect to be better at your own tarot readings, expect more accuracy, expect dreams and messages that flow in. I'm also hearing music. You're likely going to stumble upon music that is actually intended to convey messages to you. So if you find a new song and it really just resonates, that's a message. Do lean into it. Try to be more open-minded, because I do feel like things are going to get a little bit more sharp and more acute, especially in the spiritual month that is October. So do look forward to that as well. And now getting into the tarot a little bit more, you also have the Judgment card. And again, the Judgment card reinforces to me that you're about to go through a rebirth or a transformation, a change. So if you are not quite, if you're interested in spirituality, but you haven't, you didn't dive all the way in yet, you're still on the precipice, you're still thinking about it, you're going to have much more of an awakening. You have this monkey and he's looking at the lotus in the sky. So I very much think that this affirms to me this overarching and overall theme of an awakening, of being better at your spiritual gifts, of really tapping into them. Most people have them. It's just a question of how we use them and whether we discredit them and, you know, push them away, or whether we lean into it. And at the end of the day, you're just learning more about yourself at the very least. You're really opening up your internal knowledge and your ability to understand yourself better if you don't believe in woo-woo stuff. But at the most, you're really becoming much more attuned to your own internal gifts. And you also have the Empress here, which again is a gorgeous, gorgeous card. I love seeing the Empress all the time. And this is, again, an indication that on top of the spiritual awakening you're going to go through in October, you're also going to experience an explosion of creativity. The Empress is a creative force. She is incredibly powerful, creative, and has this incredible strength, confidence, and assertiveness to her. She's a force to be reckoned with. And I think I saw something that said everybody calls feminine energy like this soft and plushy energy, but actually feminine energy is pretty dark. It is an energy of both life and death. Think of Santa Muerte. Think about the duality of the divine feminine, the godlike, goddess-like figure. There are goddesses who are nurturing, but usually they also have a dark side to them. And I love seeing the Empress, because really what it boils down to is, yes, you have the beautiful, soft, plushy qualities of the divine feminine, but also the necessary strength to face things in a very bold and confident way as well. And really what the Empress says to me is, again, you're going to have a lot of abundance, creativity, success on your horizon for you headed this way in October. And again, the Empress also tells us that the Empress is also about skill development, developing your skills and taking time to be mindful and really going after the things that you want. So I do see that for you as well. And I also see here for you, pile 2, that there may have been financial struggles or financial difficulties and concerns with the 4 of Pentacles present here, which can represent attachment and being a little bit more careful with your spending, a little bit more mindful, and a little bit more concerned about money. Sometimes it can represent being greedy, but sometimes it's just a hyper awareness of your financial situation. And you should also know that with the 7 of Pentacles, you have growth and prosperity on the horizon, and this is due to your hard work. So if you've been putting in hard work in an area of your life, know that there is growth and prosperity on the horizon as well. So if you have been struggling financially, or if you have been overly focused on your resources, your finances, and where your next paycheck is coming from, just know that you've been putting in the hard work to get things done, to get things flowing and going your way, and that is going to be reciprocated and rewarded very soon as well. So if that is something you've been working on and putting in your skill, time, and effort into, you're going to see that reward coming your way as well. And as well, it's the 7 of Pentacles, so it's the lucky number 7, and I do think that there's going to be a bit more luck headed your way. So that is what I have for you, pile 2. You have an incredible month headed your way. I'm really excited for you. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I hope to see you again very soon. Hello and welcome to your reading, pile 3. Thank you so much for joining me here today. And let's get right into it. So pile 3, one of the things that's really drawing my attention right away is the 7 of Wands. And this is an incredible card. It is a card that indicates perseverance, strength, resilience, and really fighting for your beliefs, having endurance, having perseverance and courage, and also having resolve. So I feel like there is just something in your life currently where you feel like you have to fight. You feel like you have to defend, whether it's your beliefs, whether it's standing up for injustice, whether it is bringing your creative idea to fruition. You've been really, really fighting actively and working towards something. And the other thing about the 7 of Wands, it also speaks about success and making sure you you reach the end of that journey. And this is just reaffirmed because you have the World card here, and the World card is all about completion, celebration, having this finality to a very difficult and painful time. So if you're going through a very difficult time right now and you're struggling, whether it is struggling for your beliefs, whether it is struggling in an area of your life that does not seem to have an end, it doesn't seem to have closure in sight, you should know that in the month of October, with this World card paired with the Seven of Wands, whatever it is that you've been really working hard on, you are going to find finality and completion. You're going to find, at the very least, something to celebrate about the efforts you have put forward. There's going to be something to be excited and joyous over. So that is what I'm seeing for you first and foremost. And also, just so that you know, with this with the Seven of Wands and with the World card, you also have the Strength card, which again tells me that you're somebody who's incredibly strong and resilient in your goals and in your ambitions. This Strength card in particular speaks about confidence in the face of a challenge, just speaks about taking down the wild beasts that stand in the way. Just nothing can really take you down, even if it's something almost just so much more powerful than you are, which makes me think that some of you are fighting for a greater cause, perhaps some social justice stance that you have taken, something that you're actively trying to resist and fight against and see improvements in, with this really interesting creature that is a lion, and it seems like it's a crocodile, and it's also got the legs of a bear. It's a mythical creature, but it makes me think that there's something that you're up against that is so much more terrifying and powerful than you are, and you're really, like she is, wrestling this creature down and taking control over it. So I do think that if you're afraid of something, if you've been fighting towards something, fighting towards a goal, really trying to take down a beast or destroy something that you think is negative, adverse, undeserving, you will have that necessary strength to carry that out and carry that forward. That is something that you do need to know. The other thing is that it does look like whatever area in your life that you are pursuing, again, I think does have to do with some kind of revolution or protest. There could also be an injustice in your life that you are feeling very, very strongly about, and you're going to find the strength, the enthusiasm, and also the support. You can see that this individual has the support of her friends, that she's not standing there alone. She has people next to her. So I feel like you're going to have the necessary support. And I do like that they're standing in front of a castle, which makes me think of ancient institutions, very traditional institutions, old ways of thinking, and they're standing at the castle gates. Also authority. The castle can also represent authority and the ruling class, the more financially successful ruling class that tends to have power over all of us. So I feel like you're going to be standing up to a member of authority, somebody in your life that is making you feel like you're subject to injustice or unfairness or oppression in some way, shape, or form with this protest card. Or there could just simply be something in your life where you're not feeling heard, you're not feeling like you're being treated well, that things are being done as they should. And I feel like you're going to put up a bit of resistance in the month of October. And I do think that you're going to be successful in that resistance as well. But overall, I do have the building blocks card here as well, which makes me think, like I had already mentioned, that there's something that you've been actively working on and persevering on and putting all your strength and energy into with that Seven of Wands card. And just so that you know, once again, this is reaffirmation that whatever it is that you're working on, whatever it is that you're building or trying to create, all of your effort is not going unnoticed. All of your effort is not going unrewarded. You are making steps towards the final outcome. You're not simply wasting time. You're not simply, throwing energy into the wind. You are making progress, even though it may not feel that way. This could be happening behind the scenes. It may not be particularly obvious to you, but it is happening. It is occurring, and it is going to happen slowly, but inevitably you will see the fruits of your labor manifest. So if there is, again, an area in your life that you're really dedicated and putting work towards, just know that things are happening even though it may feel like they are not happening. And the other thing for you, pile 3, you have this gorgeous Queen of Wands card, and I love seeing the Queen of Wands because it just makes me think about somebody who's going to come into their own skin, their own confidence, their own beauty and energy, and just really own their existence, who they are, their authentic self. So I do love seeing the Queen of Wands, and really what I think this means for you is that you're about to become a fiery force, someone very confident and independent and passionate. So again, I do think that you are a bit of a firecracker and a bit of a, I want to say rebel, but not necessarily rebellious, but just somebody who does the right thing in the moment, which I guess could be rebellious if the status quo is oppressive or unjust. But overall, you're just going to really come into your own skin. You're going to really embrace your own confidence. You're going to find a reawakening of appreciation for who you are and all that you do. So if you've been feeling low, if you've been feeling defeated or challenged lately, just so you know, in October, you're going to find a much more happiness, much more confidence, and much more self-love. So that is what I'm thinking. And the Queen of Wands could also represent a person or someone else, but I really think that this is just a representation of you, and it's an extension of you and what you are transforming into. And the other thing that you have here is the 9 of Swords. And unfortunately, like I already sense, there is a bit of anxiety, a little bit of worry and stress. But the 9 of Swords can also indicate the need for recuperation, the need to really take a step back and meditate and really revisit the solidarity, not solidarity, but rather the solitude that we really need in moments when things get overwhelming. So if you are dealing with a lot, if you are using a lot of your energy to build up your life, to work out towards what you want, to really get where you need to go, you may be feeling a little bit exhausted, a little bit restless, a little bit anxious. You may need a moment of just solitude and meditation and reprieve. So you may need to take some days, a little bit of time in October to relax and unwind and meditate and turn your feelings inward and see what work you need to do on the inside to really bring everything together, especially if, as what I'm seeing, there's a lot of celebration, a lot of success, but also a lot of effort and diligence that's going to be occurring for you in the month of October. So just be sure that you take some time to really relax, because otherwise you may find that you're going to burn out. You're going to have a lot more difficulty moving through. And again, with the 10 of Pentacles, if you are worried about success and abundance and whatever it is that you're working on, if you are working on a creative project, if you are taking a stance towards injustice, whatever it is that you're really dedicating your time and passion towards, the 10 of Pentacles indicates to me once again that you're going to have success, abundance, and prosperity. And like I had already mentioned, I do feel like some of you do not see the fruits of your labor. And in this card specifically, you can tell that there's a little treasure chest right there, and it's hidden behind all of these weeds and all of this overgrowth. And I do think that you guys cannot see the fruits of your labor manifesting. You cannot see the results of your ambitions and your hard work, but it's there. And the 10 of Pentacles is a beautiful card, and it represents long-term success, wealth, just family, abundance, things coming together and really giving you joy, the kind of joy that you look back at when you're older and you've lived your life, that makes you think, yes, I've done it, I've completed, everything has come to finality and completion, especially with that beautiful World card. So again, I do think that the fruits of your labor are there, but they're not visible to you quite yet, but they are certainly there. And you also have this exposed and revealed card. So the other thing that could be happening for you in October, as I had already indicated, is I do feel like things are going to become revealed. So if there is something that you feel like you're not seeing your efforts manifesting, you're not seeing the fruits of your labor coming to fruition, just know that in October you're going to start seeing those things coming into action, coming into the fore, coming into the external physical world, and you're going to be able to see them much more clearly. And again, I do think that some of you perhaps are struggling in areas of your life that aren't being, they're not bringing you joy, because you do have the Nine of Swords. So I do think that some of you are struggling with anxiety, stress, and just perhaps mental illness or mental challenges that you're going through and you're processing. Or there's something in your life that really needs to change, and you need to make a decision or choose a direction in which you want your life to go. You are at a bit of a fork in the road as well, some of you. So you should also know that whatever direction that you do decide to go in, you are going to make the right choice, as long as you make it with your own, again, which is why I feel like some of you need to go into a little bit of solitude and meditate on some things, because I do think the hustle and bustle of the day-to-day, the struggles of the day-to-day, and especially how difficult this year has been, has really clouded our minds and really taken us out of our own selves, because we're so focused on the world, as we should be. We should be there in solidarity for our fellow, for our fellow human beings and society and the things that other people are struggling. But sometimes that really means that we lose control of the things that we need to be working on, the things that we need to be, the things that we need in order to feel whole, rested, complete, and satiated in our own selves. So if you are at a fork in the road, just make sure that whatever decision that you're making, whatever path you're choosing to go down on, that you're listening to your own inner voice, and you're making a decision that feels right to you in your gut, in your heart, and is consistent with your morals, with your ethics, with your passions, with the things that you value. I feel like you're someone that is a very highly moral and ethical person, and that you make decisions not just because they are, they just present themselves, but you should be careful to ensure that you're weighing your needs, your wants, who you are authentically against the decision that you make, and it will be the right one. And the other thing I want to mention before I go, tying back to the fork in the road, is you have the number 28 appearing on both of these cards, 28 and 28. And 28 is a number that represents leadership and possibly a new career path, which is what this fork in the road card can also represent. So there could be a new career or job opportunity coming your way in October. And again, I also get the sense with all of this just very powerful, fiery energy, this hardworking, dedicated energy, that the number 28 appearing twice just reaffirms to me that you are a leader. You're somebody who's going to be exceptional in the field or in the direction that you choose. If it is in the service of social justice, you're going to really leave a mark. If it is in your job, your career, or your creative pursuits, you're going to be a leader in that area. And the number 28 also does indicate financial success. It indicates a possible new career path that is going to help you really hone those skills, your natural talents. So that is something else I wanted to mention as well, pile 3. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Have a wonderful and spooky October, and I do hope to see you again very soon. Hello and welcome to your reading, pile 4. Thank you so much for joining me here today, and I'm going to get right into it. So pile 4, I get this strong, overwhelming sense that recently you have been struggling a lot with your mental health, or there has been something in your life that has been emotional, but it has been manifesting in your life physically. Because as I'm doing this reading, I have a bit of a headache. And you also have the Four of Swords and the Four of Cups. So I get the sense that things have just been a bit more dreary, much more apathetic, not as exciting as they usually are. You haven't had the energy or the enthusiasm that you would rather have. And physically, I'm feeling that you're much more drained and much more restrained and just restricted and tied up, and it is having a physical impact on you as well as a psychological impact on you with that Four of Swords. But the other thing about the Four of Swords is that usually it represents a need for contemplation, a need for rest and reprieve, a need to go inward in order to analyze yourself, analyze what's going on with you emotionally so that you can reconcile those emotions and keep moving forward. So it is important to take a step back, to meditate, to look within yourself, and to get support when it's necessary. So do not be afraid to reach out for help if you are struggling and if you are having these symptoms and manifestations and things are getting a little bit too difficult. But you also have the Four of Cups, which makes me think that really things aren't quite as exciting anymore. Things are a little bit more dreary, more dull. You're feeling more bored and apathetic. You're missing that spark, that finesse, that liveliness, that joy and energy that we get when things are crisp and exciting and happy. And so I do get the sense that you have been struggling a little bit. And I think that some of you are also recovering from the loss of someone or a potential breakup. It could be a romantic relationship ending, but it can also be the loss of a loved one, because I do have the Let Them Go card here as well. And the Let Them Go card does indicate to me that some of you are recovering, again, either from a breakup, a romantic loss, or the loss of somebody near you. And one of the things that I'm hearing for some of you, it is a relative. It is somebody that you have been ruminating about, thinking about a lot lately. You've been looking back through your memories of them, of this person, and it's been causing you pain. And I'm hearing them say that, number one, they are around you. They're constantly watching over you. They are here to watch you and look after you, but they do not want you looking back at the moments you've spent together as painful memories, but rather as joyful memories. Because at the end of the day, if you're nostalgic and you're constantly looking back at the way your life was, you're going to fail to appreciate how things are or how things will soon be if you're always fixated on the past. So they don't want you to spend too much time on the past. But if this is a romantic relationship that is ending, you also are being asked to let them go. And again, I do have the Six of Cups here, and the Six of Cups just confirms to me that you're feeling things with a little bit of nostalgia. You're looking at things from a rose-colored glasses kind of lens, or at least you're looking back at the past and how things were, instead of really focusing on the present, really focusing on the now, or at least turning your sights to the future and how things are going to become. So I think that's something that you're really struggling with. But you are going to find the strength to move past that point in October and to really just embrace it as a very important facet of your past, a very valuable moment in your life, but something that you know you're still going to have a lot more of with other people and other friends, relatives, loved ones who are going to help you feel that way again. And if this isn't a loss of someone who has recently departed or that has departed, and this is a romantic loss, you should know that you also have the Two of Cups here. And the Two of Cups indicates to me it's a very beautiful card, especially this one. I love how this card is illustrated, and I think it really symbolizes the essence of the Two of Cups beautifully. The Two of Cups is about two people who really are compatible, are attracted to each other, are equal in their give and take. So if this is a relationship that has ended for you, or a romantic attempt, or a dating attempt, whatever the case may be, you should know that there is someone out there on the horizon that is going to be a much better fit for you, someone that's going to be much more compatible and flow with you. Because as you can see, there's a lot of water going on here. So there's a lot of water energy, and I'll get back into that. But there is somebody who's going to really flow with you. And as you can see, they're pouring, this taller skeleton, I don't want to say he or she, but this taller skeleton is pouring the water into this other skeleton. So I do feel like there's a flow, a reciprocity, a give and take here that is really beautifully captured on this card. So if you're feeling like you're walking away from a relationship and you're thinking, okay, I'm not going to find anybody, or I'm not going to find someone who made me feel this way, or I'm not going to have this experience, rest assured that you are and it's actually going to be much better and much more compatible. But again, if this is not a romantic relationship and you're just here and you are struggling with the loss of a loved one, or you're feeling nostalgic for the past or someone in your past and you're being asked to let them go, just know that there's also potentially a romantic relationship on the horizon for you as well coming up this October. You're going to likely meet someone with whom you're going to have a very powerful connection. So that's what I'm seeing here as well. And you also have the Fool card present here. And I love the Fool card because I do think if you're feeling a little bit nostalgic and you're looking at the past, and the past is usually, you know, when we're young and we are a little bit more carefree, we're not in our heads as much, and we do things with this just impulsivity, this joy of new beginnings, just the excitement of a brand new start. Like, think about how excited you felt when you were about to start school for the first time, or like high school for the first time, and like you can't sleep the next day, and there's all of this excitement, even though like now as you grow older, things don't become as exciting anymore. They can become a little bit more dreadful and anxiety inducing, but like that youthful, innocent childhood excitement, like think of Christmas morning. That is really the energy of the Fool card, is really feeling about something, a new beginning, with that enthusiasm that you would experience on Christmas morning. So I do love seeing the Fool card here for you. And what it symbolizes is that there are brand new beginnings on the horizon for you that are just going to really make you feel this excitement, this free spiritedness, this caution to the wind energy, this enthusiasm for new and novel things and new and novel experiences. So you do have some new beginnings coming up on the horizon. Again, this could be speaking to the romantic relationship that's on the way, or just your tides turning with that Wheel of Fortune, card. If you have been feeling a lot of negativity, if things haven't been going your way, they haven't been flowing, there's definitely a flow energy that's being captured here. You have this Mermaid on the Fool card, and you also have a lot of cards here that are just really, again, just seem to be very much emphasizing flow and water. So I think that some of you may be nostalgic for the water. I think some of you really find solace and just regeneration and recovery in when you are around water, when you are going to the ocean, when you are in that vicinity. And I want to say, ordinarily I might say, okay, well, perhaps there's travel on the horizon for you. But unfortunately, given the existing circumstances, that doesn't seem likely. But what I do think these cards represent is really going with the flow, going with the current, going into unexplored and new and exciting territory. You have the Uncharted Sea card. And whenever the Uncharted Sea card appears with a soulmate card or a very powerfully strong romantic card, when I do these readings, such as the Two of Cups, I always think that you're about to meet somebody unexpected, someone that you weren't really prepared for, someone that is not your norm or your usual quote-unquote type, just someone who's going to really give you a new perspective of the world, is going to be different and unlike the people that you usually surround yourself with or you usually go for romantically. That is one way of seeing this, but also just the beginnings of new adventures and new exciting chapters in your life, because you do have the Fool, which is a card about beginnings, about new and exciting beginnings, but you also have the Two of Cups, and you have this Uncharted Sea card, and it does indicate to me that it's very likely that you have brand new experiences and brand new opportunities on the horizon that are going to take you in a direction that you haven't been before. So if you're feeling really apathetic about your work, if you're feeling unexcited and unenthused about your love life, or you're feeling just really stuck and stranded in some way, that's the other word I'm hearing, is stranded, especially with all of the sea imagery. I'm feeling like you're stranded right now, pile 4. If you're feeling stranded, the current is about to change, the tide is about to change, and you're about to have brand new exciting experiences coming up in October. You're about to open up your mind and really have a new grasp on life. You're about to be rejuvenated in a way that's going to really help bring you out of a funk, because I do think you've been in a really, really serious funk lately, and things are about to change for you, pile 4. And again, the other thing that I'm hearing is that you have the go the distance card here. And the go the distance card I absolutely love, because I think for some of you, again, I do think that some of you are either leaving an existing relationship or walking away from a romantic attempt that just did not go anywhere, did not yield the results that you wanted. And if you are trying to manifest somebody into your life, or you're trying to have a relationship that's meaningful and lasting, I'm hearing that the person that you are going to meet, along with that beautiful Two of Cups card, that reciprocal energy, this person is going to go the distance for you. That is one way. So if you are trying to focus on a romantic relationship, that is something that you can look forward to, is somebody who's going to go the distance for you and really work hard to grab your attention and work hard to keep your attention and keep you happy. And if you are not, if that is not something that you're looking forward to, whatever is coming your way in October is going to be something that you are going to be, again, energized, revitalized by. You can see that you have, I want to say, you have this cheetah here and it's just sprinting. And I'm getting the sense that whatever is coming your way in October is going to really revitalize you and give you that energy to go the distance, to travel and to do what you need to do, break down barriers and really move towards your goal and objective. That is how I'm seeing October going for you, pile 4. It's going to be, again, a month of new beginnings. You're going to start to release that apathy, that boredom, that lack of excitement, that day-to-day dreariness, that ordinary, mundane, unexciting way of life that you've been dealing with, and you're going to start to get a brand new and exciting beginning to your life. You're going to start looking towards the future instead of really ruminating in the past, which is what I think you've been doing recently, pile 4. So that is what I have for you. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Have a wonderful and spooky October, and I hope to see you again soon.